Safety and effectiveness of the drugs they take, and usually they are trouble-free.
Yeah, but with an increasing number of generics being made overseas, new questions are being raised about their safety and who's watching over them. Here's Fox 25's Sharman Saketi.
We think they're the same as their costly counterparts, but generic drugs aren't always just like the brand names. Listen to what happened to cancer patient Maggie Dowling. She says a generic version of her pain medicine made her sick.
And every drug has its potential for harmful side effects. It's just that I want to have as few as possible. I've had some very serious reactions.
Generics are supposed to look different from the brand names. They're also supposed to have the exact same active ingredient. It's the inactive ones that don't have to be the same, and that's where some of the problems have been coming up. Take the antidepressant drug Wellbutrin XL. It releases over time, but dozens of people have complained the generic version delivers a more powerful dose in a much shorter period of time.
It would still contain the right amount of drug, but it would behave differently.
Most generics are trouble-free. Right now, consumer watchdog groups say another, perhaps more pressing issue is where they're coming from.
The problem, though, is that the FDA, that's supposed to be overseeing generics and brand name drugs, are asleep at the switch.
If a drug is made overseas, that plant must be registered and is supposed to be inspected by the FDA. In fact, just last year, the Government Accountability Office released this report slamming the FDA for not keeping up with inspections of overseas drug manufacturers. At the rate it's going now, the report says it would take more than 13 years for the FDA to inspect each overseas drug plant. It also says the rules governing foreign inspections are different and in some cases less strict than domestic inspections. Former FDA official and now advocate William Hubbard points to 81 deaths this year because of a generic form of the blood thinner heparin, manufactured by a Chinese plant. Investigators believe a chemical substitute used in those drugs may be responsible.
Someone can substitute a dangerous ingredient in a drug and Americans can be injured. And I think that will continue to happen until we find a way to strengthen the FDA.
The government says China and India top the list for generic importers to the United States. At the Mass School of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, Assistant Professor Joseph Ferrulo agrees federal inspections should keep pace with drug manufacturers.
The concern over the last few years as we see the trend to manufacture overseas is increasing. Certainly the FDA has their work cut out policing these overseas operations. I think right now systems have to be strengthened.
The FDA insists generics are put through rigorous tests. It also says it is taking steps to ensure foreign countries comply with FDA standards. A spokeswoman tells us the FDA will not permit drugs to be made in substandard facilities. All factories, whether making brand name or generic drugs, must meet the same high standards.
Recent problems with tainted products from China have put increased pressure on the FDA. In fact, lawmakers did just approve more money for foreign inspections. Now the FDA is going to be sending permanent drug inspectors to China and India.
At Mass General Hospital in Boston, pharmacy director Margaret Clapp says they use generics because the cost difference to the patient is huge.
They just have to do it right, and there's no cutting corners when it can come to patient safety.
She believes it's the drug companies that need to make sure situations like what happened with the drug heparin doesn't happen again.
Hold the drug companies responsible for the behaviors that they have and for their products that they have, their plants that they're produced in, and I think that they should be monitoring. If the FDA has to go and look under every nook and cranny and people are being sneaky about it, the whole thing should come crumbling down.
Bottom line, pharmacists say you need to pay close attention to how you feel when switching to any new medication.
Consumers should have that relationship with their physician, with the doctor. If something doesn't feel right, ask the physician, ask the pharmacist.
Sharman Saketi, Fox 25 News.
Well, we want to know what you think about this. Log on to our website, myfoxboston.com, and all you have to do is click on Special Reports.
And there you can read Sharman's blog about the story and weigh in on our poll.
Love to hear from you. Coming up tonight, the